Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You are very welcome to Gorgazan. And we have XMT's Pugno, which I'm going to call him Pug, just for the sake of this, on Norsca, versus ODM's Seagaz. Seagaz? Seagaz! Yes, indeed, on the side of Nurgle. This is, of course, during Phoenix King's tournament quite recently. So we are going to have both of our sides here. Nice. Let's actually take a quick peek at what we have here. We have some Marauders mixed in with some Marauder Berserkers. I believe the Aura War is hiding in there somewhere. Is he there? Yeah, the Brutes of the Hound. The Aura War Berserkers. Some Famir to have that little bit of mass and perhaps batter away some of those mobility elements from the side of Nurgle and just help out that front line just a little bit. Then we have the Marauder Hunters with Javelins in the backfield to throw down at anything with their anti-large. And of course, one more unit of Marauders. And on the side of our Lord, we of course have Throg. I almost said Throth there. They're very similar, considering where they are in campaign. They're pretty much neck and neck. Excuse it, with his regen and his ability to hit things really well. He does not have his breath attack, unfortunately, which is a bit of a shame. And then we have a Vermeer Balefiend with Flamestorm. Then on the side of Nurgle, we have our triple Rot Knight, one of which I believe is the, Rotting Riders there, the Aura War. A bunch of Pestigores, a couple of Nurglings, I believe they're the Frolickers Bubonic, which they are. And yeah, as I remember that I have to turn off all of this nonsense. You look at that. Disgusting. There we go. And there we have it. We have our Chaos Lord of Nurgle with his Rot or Die Cloud of Flies, an icon of eternal virulence. Say that one fast, good God. Chaos Lord of Nurgle then with Fleshy Abundance just to get those heals. Wow. That's epic and cool. As we are going to see another Famir here, saturated in the middle of these Berserkers just to make sure that anything trying to get through them is going to have a hard time. As we're having the pre-game phase here, of course. As we do see front lines slowly but surely start to engage. Now this is the Famir here, going to scatter just a little bit. And then immediately get that complete entrapment there in the Chaos Lord of Nurgle. Not going to be a good time for him, especially given that these chap, I believe, do they have their armor sundering? Or am I? Nope, they do not. They just have From the Mist. Magnificent. Cool beans. May have an actual look here and see. Oh, they do have sundered armor. Interesting. I thought I got that right. I'm like, why isn't that on their thing? Okay, there it is. As we are going to see some of the Marauder Hunters with Javelins get tied up. These Famir are not having a good time, getting absolutely massacred here by these Rot Knights. Same over in this flank. Unsupported, not in the middle of their Marauders. They're going to take the brunt of that charge pretty much by two Rot Knights, one of which the Rotting Riders are a war. And over here, it's not looking that much better for them. Here's the Javs are going to do their absolute damnedest to throw in on top of it here, but a beautiful Flamestorm here comes down. Through the fire and the flames, the Famir are going to persevere. Looking at here, one of the Famir are going to be routed off, as we have a big blob of shenanigans, tomfoolery, and God knows what else from the side of Nurgle here, absolutely ripping and tearing their way through what seem to be both the Famir and these poor Marauders. Their marauding days are over. You hate to see it. Hate to see it, truly. As we're going to have the Famir Balefiend locked in combat. Chaos Sorcerer. Throg here takes this fight over this side yonder against the Chaos Lord. Both of their single entities here are not doing so good, but there's a lot of fleshy abundances in Nurgle's back pocket. It does seem as though, what's after going here? Berserk. He's gone Berserk, guys, and the icon of eternal virulence just helping out to mitigate some of that damage that's coming in here. But of course the Rot Knights are going to swing back around and try and get this Famir Balefiend. I believe this... Ooh, that's nasty, but look at that there. Some really solid damage coming through here in the Marauder Javelins. We're doing pretty okay. 436 damage. Not quite paid for themselves yet, but they're getting there. Look at this, some really good micro here on the side of Pug. On the side of Seagaz, sorry, excuse me, it wasn't Pug on Nurgle, who's doing a good job of keeping these Rot Knights up and about. And look at that, another Flamestorm comes down here, and these Pestigores absolutely nuking them, getting some decent-ish damage here on the side of the Rot Knights as well. Trying to get some morale debuffs here so that they can be broken. Look at those, the Pestigores are pretty much tattered here. as we are going to see some Marauder Hunters with Javs rally in the backfield, but looking over yonder here, it does seem as though some of these Rot Knights are going to be swinging back around with some Pestigore support to try and take all of these throwy, pokey things out of it, as we are going to see Seagaz's Chaos Sorcerer been sent off. Pug is doing a good job here in this mid-game. He's doing really, really nice, but those mobility elements here from Nurgle are going to be really, really nasty, as we are going to see. Looking at that, is Throg going to get a swing and a miss? No, he misses. Rip Aroni and Pepperoni, as we are going to see the Pestigores come in here, take out the Marauder Hunters, along with the Rot Knights coming in here. Throg in, trying to get... he said it was hammering time, and he wasn't lying, as we are going to see now come a couple of little blobs here develop in the midfield. But of course these Marauder Berserkers kind of caught with their trousers down. We do have some armor sundering here, so these Berserkers are actually going to do some really decent work. A very nice combo here, going for the Famir and of course going for Berserkers here, so you get that damaging in and you get the armor sundering, so they can actually hit pretty hard. Very, very nice stuff here, as the Pestigores here are going to be charged in by some fairly haggard looking Marauders. Looking here, another unit of Marauders here getting the interrupt here on the yet more Pestigores. Over here now in the midfield, we are going to see that Sorcerer. No, the Sorcerer is over here. Is he still alive? Yeah, he's hanging in there. He's probably going to get another heal off. And of course, with the Norsca playing a very defensive kind of formation here, it's not really going to matter much. They don't have anything to reach out and to touch him, as he is half the map away. Keeping nice several units of measurement, big ones, away from everything at any given time. Beautiful Flamestorm comes down. It's not going to do much, but it's probably going to rout off these Rot Knights, who are not going to rout. But we are having Throg chase them down to try and get rid of them, as we are going to see now Nurgle's forces kind of reconsolidate here again. Given that there is no attacking rule, which is of course because we're on the Conquest, which the point, by the way, has not been taken. Almost taken there by Norsca, but not quite. There are no attacking rules in play, so they can just kind of reform and reconsolidate their stuff and get some heals off, which is exactly what they seem to be doing. I'd imagine that's how the Flamestorm is still... I mean, a Funeral Pyre is definitely something and probably appropriate here, as we're going to see Norsca now try desperately to get some nice damage off here. They're going to be kited out a little bit. So Pesticores did manage to get caught. Throg, they're following up in here just to try and get that. And he jumps on him. Literally got the jump on them. Powerful stuff. Norsca here is looking pretty cagey. They have a fairly tattered unit with about maybe a third's HP left on the Famir Great Warriors. They still have that missile resistance. Not going to be relevant. But we are going to have their Sorcerer, the Famir, with still some Flamestorms in his back pocket, which are going to be pretty relevant. Last of the Famir... Second last Famir unit is going to be chased off into Narnia. You hate to see it, as they're going to be scattered like dust upon the wind by the mobility elements here of Nurgle. Funny that Nurgle is more mobile than everything else. We are going to see now Norsca get a little bit impatient, Pug down, deciding that it's probably for the best that I jump on the point, or just reform myself, guarding off here to make sure that nothing gets the jump on these Marauder Berserkers. Hate to see it, as we are now seeing the recently consolidated Nurgle forces kind of chill out for a minute, get that vigor replenished, try and keep themselves in the fight just a little bit longer. But look at that, there some Pestigores have chased some stuff off, and they are now, everyone's deciding the point is the place to be, and vigor replenishment here is going to be pretty important. But those Famir, being as roughed up as they are, with still 3 units of Rot Knights, one of which the Aura War, are still in play. As we're just going to fast forward just a little bit here just to get this show on the road, as the point has now been jumped on. Still holding up. We are going to see that Sorcerer Lord continue to get that little bits of... I don't believe he took the lore passive. But we do have the Rotting Riders pretty much in full HP. We have these 2 tattered units of Rot Knights pretty much back in once more. Both sides are now consolidating everything they got. We're starting to see the surround as the box has been formed. Almost a good Flamestorm there. Balance of power. Almost. We got some of it back. But looking at this here, we are going to see that Chaos Lord is pretty damn close to his heal cap. It's surely within sight here. As everything now is reconsolidating, the Chaos Sorcerer Lord is still in good nick, and look at that balance of power is starting to swing just a little bit away as that extra HP regens here for the side of Nurgle as the surround is almost complete. Both flanks, the ride of the Rothirrim is upon us. Will Norsca have enough to be able to hold? Will they be able to do it? That's a really good surround here as the two weakened units are going to get the charge in first. Scattering this unit of Berserkers, we see everything reform here. That's going to be these Pestigors probably sent back into the forests of the old world as they're going to be routed off. Shattered, in fact. Another Flamestorm comes down here. We are going to get some really decent damage. Beautiful stuff here, getting a little bit of damage there. Getting rid of a little bit of that regen. Pestigors, but unfortunately it's going to chase off this unit of Haggard Pestigors. Throt in the thick of it, trying to get some hits off. He's surrounded. This unit of Marauder Berserkers managing to send off those Pestigors. We do see the Sorcerer Lord. He's still in the fight with that 20 leadership hanging in there by a thread. The balance of power creeps away from Pug, and it does look as though Sea Gods is getting the advantage. The last bit of mass is being sent off. Famir scattering. And with the Famir gone, everything else is kind of caught up here. The Rotting Riders. Chaos Lord. With that heal cap, look at him, genius. It's almost as if I've watched this before. Insane, crazy. As you do see the jump in. Leaping, bounding into action here. As we are going to see now the Sorcerer Lord surrounded. But Throt, not Throt, I knew I'd do it. Throg. Caught on his own against a bunch of Rotting Riders. Even with that armor resistance, we are going to see the Famir start to break. Surrounded, the heal cap is still pretty much there. Look at that, he's frostbit. As we might be able to just claw this one back for a little bit more, but I think this is going to be it. And that is going to be Sea Gods taking the W. Wow, nice to actually see Sea Gods play. Pug as well. I don't think I've had the pleasure of watching Pug fight either, so this has been good. Sea Gods, of course, being an absolutely exceptional player taking the win here. Really nice value on the Chaos Lord. Frolickers, they frolicked off with a little bit of value. Pestigors did okie dokie. And then as for, oh good lord, considerable amount of value here. They basically were the hard carry. And as for Norsca, 2,000 value there. Almost paid for himself. This guy most certainly paid for himself. Some beautiful Flamestorms coming in clutch, but just not enough. Yeah, the Berserkers feasted. Especially with the Famir applying the Sundered Armor effect. It really gives them some good value. And the Famir all did really solidly here. I don't think pretty much a hard carry for them. All of the bigger elements, the monstrous elements, were the thing that kept this game together. But there you have it, folks. Hope you enjoyed the video. Beautiful cast as ever. And I'll see you all in the next one. Do that whole like, subscribe thing.